little grainy on my end. So I think it's just this computer.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. The video.
Okay.
Mostly it's a podcast, so but yeah, we'll talk about whatever, guys. I don't think we should have a plan. Let's just flow.
All right. Are you gonna do the intro? Do the intro.
The intro?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm Sherry. This is Shahadra. Reina's with us. We just people talking.
All right. So why don't you start with like an update? Because I feel like it's been a while, but I really find that it was like hilarious that I had last week. I had my little run-in with Rogers, and then this week you're dealing with Rogers, and I feel like it's like the ultimate dealing with your cable company or dealing with your internet company is like the ultimate challenge in mindfulness because they will test every inch of like your being, and you really just got to stand strong through the whole process.
I hear
So
you.
tell me exactly how you feel about that.
I hear you. I feel it
Crazy.
really shows us, like, this really shows me how attached I am to my internet now, though. And this is like a new thing for me. But yeah, I was like, as the time was ticking by, I was really aware of time today because I noticed as each moment goes by, I'm like, I've missed another thing. I've missed another thing. I need this internet back on. Like, it became all encompassing all day, right? And I mean, they have you working in this tiny space. Like, I'm behind my couch in this like little 1 foot space, so I'm trying to not get caught up in even just the fact that I have no room to mess with these wires and that I used the wrong wire or whatever. And it was like, you sent me that wire.
Whew.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
so
it makes me feel better that like people are going through, like, you know what I'm feeling now. Like now when you look back and you listen to that past podcast, you know exactly where I was, like mentally, like spiritually, like, and you said it, we're so dependent on internet now. It literally runs everything. And when that's the one thing that's connect us, like when you're disconnected, it literally just throws your entire, I don't want to say existence because that sounds really, really dramatic, but you kind of get what I'm saying. It
no,
literally
I
just,
hear
it
you.
affects
Yeah.
everything and everybody, point blank, period.
Existence a good word because we exist in this age now where this is the most important thing. We've created this as the most important thing, right? This is our connectivity. We're living in a pandemic. We could reach everybody like this with no risk. So I hear you. This is our existence now.
So
What
like,
about
how do
you,
you deal
Ray?
with,
What do you think about how like do you feel that we're just like this is you've grown up where you've had internet since you were like 11 years old. Like
I think no. Well, I got my first computer when I was 12. You guys didn't give me internet access on it at first. So I think it was like maybe a year later you gave me internet access, or maybe within that year.
well,
I don't know.
unsupervised. You were supervised on the computer downstairs though, right?
Computer downstairs.
That shows you. So in your mind, you only remember when it became just
My
yours.
brain is like not good at remembering things. It's
okay,
like
Sherry, give us some context for the people who are just like, Reina's our special guest. You got to give them some context so they know who she is, where she's
So
from,
Reina, who are
you know?
you? Where are you from?
Yeah. Tell us a little about yourself,
well, I
man.
mean, technically I'm
Or
from
woman,
you, but
or
Oh,
they, sorry.
we're gonna go there.
Got you. So tell us a little bit more about you. Do you
First
hear
few
me?
things that come to mind, Reina. Just say whatever comes to mind. What do you think when you're introducing yourself?
I like puzzles
Cool.
and snakes.
Okay. And you're clearly a techie because your mom always brings that up.
I literally will unplug something and plug it back in, and she's like, mastermind.
No, but that just goes to show you like the differences in generations. Like even with like my family, I'm essentially like I still have to stay on hold with Rogers tech support because I'm like I don't know what Y and B and R and AV and all that stuff means. But to the next, to somebody older than you, like they're like, whoa. When you were 12, what kind of internet access did you have? Like, was it super fast? Was it still in the telephone line, or how did it work?
um, I don't know. When I was younger, I don't really remember much, but
Okay.
It was, ow. The internet access that I do remember having where we used to live was, it was pretty fast. It was, we had a modem.
Okay.
For as long as I can remember, we've had a modem.
Okay.
So it wasn't ever dial up. I think I'm too young for that. I think that was kind of phased out before I
You're
was born.
blessed. You're blessed with having been too young for that.
I think that got phased out before I was born, but
Okay. So you were born at just the right moment. That's amazing.
2002.
There you
Because
go.
for us, like for me growing up, I do remember getting my same, like my first computer around the same age, but it was all AOL, like CD discs that had like time. And then you had to connect it to your phone. And if you were on the phone, you couldn't be on the internet. And it took you like, 3 days to download a song worth like 12 megabytes. Like it was insane. So for me, even though we have like, to this day, I have the fastest internet I've ever had, but my patience, I feel like it's just gotten, or like the expectation has gotten like so tiny that I hate to say it, but it's almost like first world problems. Like anytime I complain about the internet, somebody's like, yeah, okay, these are first world problems, like relax. But like we all kind of agree, like it's such an intricate part of life now that like I hate to even like compare, because it's not water, it's not food, but it is something that, okay, for example, right?
I would say it's definitely our culture and it's our community,
Yeah.
which is like how we socialize and even our education and our infrastructure. It's all online, our banking, our everything, they're talking about doing voting online. I mean, it's just going to be, you know, everything is online. So it can be akin to something that, is a necessity. Maybe not like, the first couple necessities, water and food, but it's up
Yeah.
there. It's definitely up there. I mean, you can't do so many things now if you don't have access to the internet. I remember, actually, that reminds me of the cell phone. We stopped having a home phone so many years ago that they were like, you have to have a home phone number. Do you remember that? They would say, you have to have a home phone number. We'd be like, no, we haven't had a home phone number in years. Why would we? We have our phones on us. So I remember that kind of switch that happened where it's like you didn't exist if you didn't have a landline.
Right. Like Reina, like they're I think your age group is kind of like skipped over that, but like even me and my friends were joking the other day, like there used to be a time when you would have to pick up the, like, to talk to your crush, you would have to pick up the phone, dial their number, speak to their parents first, and then ask them to pass the phone to somebody else. Like there was no, like now there's no in between, right? You can talk to somebody and not have to speak to anybody else except for that person. And it could be like instantaneous. And like it is the coolest thing and the freakiest thing that I've ever encountered. So it's just
Yeah.
wow, what a life that we live in,
When I
honestly.
was younger, my mom was always like, I think it was, I wasn't going to be getting a phone until I was 14. I ended up getting one at 12,
Wow.
but then my sister has had a phone. How long has she had a phone? She's
Since she was
12.
12.
She's 12 going on 13. She's had a phone for a few years.
Sorry, yes, sorry. We're going to split months now. So she got her phone the Christmas before she turned 12. So by a few months,
Okay.
yes, Reina, she was just
So
a couple
11.
months before. That seems to matter very much, I think.
What is that, like 7th grade?
Well, I only got one at 12 because I started walking by myself and to school and walking my sister. That's the only reason. I would have had to wait till I was like 14 or 16 to get one. That was the original plan, but
Yeah, because they're in essence, they're like a mini computer walking around in your pocket, right? So do you arm your child with the mini computer already, unsupervised or not? You make that decision. So yeah, when you needed it for responsibility, I thought that was a good idea. And then the same thing for your sister. We moved and she was starting to walk to school by herself and she was going to be doing community service at the school as well in the evening. So she needed to have connectivity, and as far as I was concerned. All
and yet
practical reasons. It wasn't to
on
bother.
that old phone, I spent so much time playing Boggle.
Oh, wow.
I think that's part of the reason why I'm so like able to like words, not speak them, not speak words, but like spell words and do word jumbles. I think that was why, because I played, that was like the only game on the phone because it was your old phone. So I would just play that all the time and I found it so fun. That's why I was sad that they removed it from the App Store. You actually can't get it anymore. Even when, by the time I got a new phone, I couldn't get it anymore. So I was like, oh, what is my favorite?
Gosh, those
Okay.
original oh my gosh, those original computer games I used to play, it reminded me of that. I mean, it'd
Tetris.
be, no, the ones on the computer, they were adventure games and stuff like that, or car
Oh, like
driving games like Carmageddon and stuff like that. It just came to
what's the
mind.
one? What's the one where you're traveling in a wagon and basically everybody just dies?
I don't know that one. I don't know that. But I
What?
just remember like it was such a little movement. You were just like clicking left and right and like answering questions and typing in text. They were so
Well, yeah,
small
because
compared to now.
you were like a family from the Middle Ages or something. You were all in Oregon Trail. It's called Oregon Trail.
Or
You're traveling,
the Oregon Trail?
or I think it's Oregon, but
Oregon Trail?
yeah,
Okay.
like the place. I don't know. I've never played it. I just heard of it. But
Okay.
it's a side-scrolling game where it's basically more a story. It's not as much a game, it's more a story, but I think you get to like choose options and then it's basically like everybody dies in various ways. It's like at the end of each, either I think it's like at the end of each day or week, it'll be like so and so died from, like, they starved to death, or so and so died from illness, or so and so died from literally crapping themselves to death. Like that's one of the deaths you can get. There's a technical term for it, but I don't remember
Whoa.
what it was.
That's interesting,
Like
right?
always people died traveling in the Middle Ages. That, like, it's basically to represent that. Basically, you're all, I don't even know what
These are
the goal of
crazy.
it is. I would think the goal is getting where you're trying to go without everyone dying, but I mean,
So
Interesting.
wait, were these are like games that were already on the phone when you got it, or are these
oh,
like
I know,
games that
I
were just like
never,
free that you had access to?
I never played Oregon Trail. It was like, it's a really old computer game.
Oh, you just know of it.
I know
Oh,
of it. I've never played it. But I
oh,
like the
okay.
original ones, like,
I was starting to wonder why I had
Got you,
allowed
got
this
you.
game. I'm like, my child
no,
is
I
playing
never
it.
played it. I just heard of it.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Wow. I'm like, there's so many like different types of games like that are like so just out there, but they're making them from somebody. Like somebody's playing these games. Like I've never heard of this. To be honest, I'd probably check it out still. Not even gonna lie. But
I
it's
think
just
you
like goes to show
can,
you like
I think you can emulate it, but I
look
don't know.
at like Netflix. Yeah, like no, I'm not going. Xbox S is out now, so there's like Valhalla to play.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you talked about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, exactly.
My dad pre-ordered it. It's actually today it comes out for
Exactly.
PS4 and he's going to pick it up. I'm going to go with him because he's my ride,
Cool
but
stuff.
I think we're
um,
losing some audio, Shahadra.
Okay, can you not hear me?
I
Is it
think
still
it,
low?
it breaks up because I think that's Raina and you were talking at the same time just now.
Okay.
sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just noticing the audio is like
Yeah, you're,
all at different paces, so it's strange a little. I don't know why.
it all
Okay.
depends on bandwidth and connection because Zoom takes up a lot of bandwidth.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
Okay.
that's cool. That I mean, video games, that's so controversial, like whether or not they're good for you. I think there's so much that's good. There's so much that's good about
Constructive
video games.
ones, like stuff like Slime Rancher and Minecraft, stuff like that, it's constructive, it's like limitless in what you can do. Well, Minecraft is limitless. Slime Rancher, there's kind of like it's a story, there's a story to it, but like the story, and you can just, it's so
No, go
cute.
ahead.
I know
I'm
you
just having a bit of my brain was just like, stop talking for a second. um,
No, I
It's
know that's your favorite. You're always talking
I
about
love
the
Slime Rancher.
cute little slimes that you're
Oh, they're so
harvesting
cute.
and stuff.
Harvesting slime.
Well, technically it's their poop and you sell it.
Okay.
But they're used for things like certain slimes are used for things like these phosphor slimes. They're ones that glow in the dark. They're used back, their plorts are used back on Earth to create electricity that's eco-friendly.
Oh, there you
And
go.
Oh.
like
Thinking.
a honey slime, their plorts, people use it like regular honey. You can eat it. It doesn't hurt you. It's actually really delicious, apparently. Like the exploding slimes called boom slimes, their plorts are used for explosives, like for mining and stuff like that back on Earth. So it's actually really interesting. They have use. That's the whole point. That's the whole point why you're on the ranch and collecting them and selling them, because you're giving them to the companies to use them, to refine them and create, and use them for their purpose.
This sounds cool.
I recommend Slime Rancher. It's a really good game.
I was playing 7 Days last night. That's what I was playing.
See that sounds cool. Sorry, what's 7 days?
That is a zombie survival game.
Oh.
Yeah, it's co-op. It's couch co-op.
Okay.
You can play it online, but then people get into your stuff, so I generally don't.
Sorry, I hate to do this. Give me 1 second, okay? I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Okay, let me see if I can close one of these blinds because the sun is on the screen, so I can't see anything anymore.
It's all good. This is why we don't edit. We want it to just be raw, exactly how our conversations would be. So there's always something when it's free flowing.
It's gonna make it darker in the room, but I literally
There we go.
Yeah, she just jumped out for a minute to see if she could change the blinds. I think the sun was.
I had to close the blinds. The sun was on the screen, so I couldn't see anymore.
All good.
Yeah.
It looks like there's an
no worries.
octopus on
I
my
mean,
head.
Sometimes you just got to take a minute.
Yeah. It's
What,
all
your
good.
hair?
Yeah, my hair looks like
Yeah.
there's an octopus sitting on my head.
Cool.
I like your hat. Your hat is cool.
Thank
I'm
you.
digging that Gryffindor patch. All right, so wait, you guys were telling me about like video games, and obviously we all kind of use them for different reasons. I was kind of wondering like, what is the main reason you guys use them for? And you were also saying that, you find out that there's a good and bad, if you can kind of just explain that a little bit.
Yeah. I think in our household, we use video games for connectivity and socializing. We play Minecraft together, all four of us, and a couple other games like adventure games together.
Sorry, Minecraft's just so good. That's my childhood.
It is good. It is good.
I discovered it around the time it first came out. I was watching a YouTuber play it, and I go up to mom and dad, and I'm like, "Can we please get this game?"
Oh,
And the first copy we bought was for the PS3. So, and then eventually it evolved into we have 2 copies for PS3. I have it on my computer. We have it on the PS4 downstairs. Like we play it so
do you
much.
remember what I
it.
thought it was though? When she first told me, she's like, "Mom, there's this game called Minecraft." I thought she said mind, M-I-N-D. And she's like, "You build all this stuff and you learn all these things and there's all these different like blocks and materials." And I went, "Wow, this is amazing. It's going to build your mind. Of course I'll buy you that."
Right. So explain it to to the people who've never heard of Minecraft. Like explain to us a little bit like what exactly is it? Like
It's
what's the point of this game?
M-I-N-E craft.
Oh,
It's
really?
mining.
I'm really surprised that if there are people who haven't heard of it, because it's like, I think it's been like the largest selling game for a while. Like it's been I think Fortnite passed it for a little bit, but then Minecraft took back its position again. So Minecraft it's a like open world, completely open world game where the main objective is to get to the end and slay the Ender Dragon. But even after that, that's where the story ends. You can keep playing in your world even after even after you defeat the dragon. And that's the survival part of it. So you fight these creatures, you hunt animals for food, you can farm for food, you know,
And like
you
some of
mine
my favorite,
resources.
yeah, and some of our favorite things is like we'll be playing as a family and like one of Raina's friends will pop in and like play for a while, or somebody else can just pop in. So you can actually socialize with anybody through this game. You can chat and then also still build and create together. So it's like it's just like inviting people over and playing a board game almost, except now this is like really useful for right now when we all can't just get together. So I think there's just something really important about what we're doing with being online and connecting together. But then there's also, of course, the other side of the coin where we have to be mindful of how much distraction we have and how much time we donate to it, and like how important it gets. Because to me, like the number one thing I dislike, if I was to judge gaming, I dislike how angry it can make some people. And I've seen the controller come down on so many knees while people are screaming or thrown across the room. And I can't say I've never done it myself, especially back in the Wii days when the Wii controller would not be strapped to my wrist.
I've hit myself in the face many a time with a Wiimote.
Oh, the Wii.
It's not fun to
Oh,
hit yourself in the
man.
face. But sometimes it wasn't on, like, sometimes it wasn't at a rage. It's like, because sometimes, you know, you're playing those mini games and you just smash yourself in the face by accident.
You get so
I've
into
hit,
it.
I've hit other people with the Wiimote. I've hit other
Yeah.
objects with the Wiimote. Probably hit the dog at one point by accident with the.
Oh,
It's like it gives you this warning right as you turn on the system, like make sure there's no people or objects around you. Wear the wrist strap, and I'm just like, yay.
it's true. Wear the wrist strap.
That Wiimote's going
Got
flying, you
you,
know I ain't
got
gonna wear that wrist strap.
What
And
about
so,
you, Shahadra? What do you play?
To be honest, I haven't gamed in a while, and the games that usually get me are like it depends what I'm trying to do. If I'm in an angry mood, I'll play like Grand Theft Auto, because that's kind of like, that allows you to kind of act out your absolute worst self in the most healthiest way.
Yes, I hear
But
you.
some of the funniest games that I remember, like other than like The Sims for my computer games, is definitely like a Need for Speed, which are just like racing games. So that's where like you would get to build and race cars. So this was kind of like a while ago before the whole online thing kind of took over. It was in it a little bit, but like basically like for me to play this game, my friends had to be like right beside me. And like this is what taught me like patience and like loyalty and discipline, because obviously with games there's always an end goal. There's like a bunch of mini goals, and then there's like that big end goal. And for me, I just like remember like getting so focused trying to complete this one goal and just keep doing it over and over and over and over, and like this would be hours, like sometimes it would take days, and something in me just kept drawing me to be like, okay, it's okay, you lose, you're frustrated, shake it off, keep going. And I think that's kind of served me a little bit better now, just because I do see in a game like the stakes are kind of low, right? Like it's that easy to press a reset button. It's that easy to just press, go again.
That
In real
sounds
life,
really
where the stakes are a
mindful.
little bit higher, yeah, like now that the stakes are a little higher, I still like you could still kind of gamify life in the sense that like, listen, it maybe it didn't work out the first time. Just like in a game, you kind of have to just readjust your strategy and try it again. And if that doesn't work, you readjust your strategy and you try it again. And if that doesn't work, you call up your friends and then you guys kind of like work together and then you try it again. And that is so much fun. And like that one, like that is so creative. And that to me is like the best part of gaming. Like games are supposed to help you become a better person. They're supposed to evolve like your mind, your consciousness. It's not supposed to be, obviously in this world where like so much focus is on gluttony and so much focus is on numbing yourself because it's so easy access and the worlds have gotten so ginormous, which of course is like beautiful and it's creative. But when you get stuck in one mode, it just knocks you off balance. And I think the best part about the awareness of like, the gaming industry growing is that there's more emphasis on like, how do we balance out the negatives? How do we balance out the toxicity? How do we balance out the game time? How do we balance out the gameplay? How do we add diversity? How do we, push the limits like virtually? And these are all things, like, at the end of the day, behind the screens are humans, right? It's a human that's programming this stuff. It's a human that's developing. It's a human that's writing the script. It's a human that's playing it. And at the end of the day, when you think about that, like, wow, how many hands did that one piece of, framework have to go through for it to come to you, for you to ultimately enjoy it, and then get to talk to, Raina and Sherry about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I totally agree with you. And I mean, it's such an involved thing. It's such a layered thing, and everybody has their niche that they love about it. you know
Mhm.
I and it's always in the news too. Like, you always see like the newest thing. They're always advertising like the newest best thing. Like the VR came out and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's all about the VR
Yeah.
now, and I know
Love
this guy.
VR.
Yeah, I know this
And
guy
Mom's
is
like, you're
like,
not bringing that in my house.
well, no, but there's reasons though, because as it is, like you were mentioning, like you can choose to go into this so fully. Like if all of us took that amount of time to play those games. So I was gonna say, this one guy spent like 15 hours playing this VR game because he had just gotten it. I mean, he missed work and
Oof.
everything. Yeah, so that's where I think like you really got to watch, like as with everything, like what's it teaching you, what are you getting from it, exactly like you said. Like, notice what it's doing for you and making sure that it's, you're being mindful and that you're being healthy, right? Is this healthy
Yeah.
for me? Well, it is for a little while, and like some of the stuff that it grows in your brain is amazing. Like, seniors are using video games similar to like the Tetris game, and they're growing these amazing
Hmm.
skills, this hand-eye coordination and all these great skills. The same with children. I mean, their hand-eye coordination's amazing from gaming, so there's so many benefits. But then you worry, right, about people like that. 15 hours, and then he finally realized he hadn't drank anything, he missed work, and I'm just thinking, wow. How do you get that
Whoa.
attached?
You get lost, essentially, because it's so easy, and it's, like you said, sometimes. So, okay, what I understood is that somebody said to me, it's never how much you do it, it's always what the effects of something are, right? That's how you kind of know if you're bordering on the healthy and the unhealthy range. If you're doing something to the fact, and it's consistently, obviously, as well, if you're doing something to the fact, like, it's great to get lost. If you're doing this on a weekend when you have absolutely nothing to do, your bills are paid, everything is taken care of, and you want to waste, or, waste it wisely, waste your 15 hours, do that. When it comes to the fact that, like, okay, now it's affecting your job, and now it's affecting, you even
Health.
self-caring, you really gotta really check yourself. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. And I would even suggest, like, that's when you need to kind of start picking away, like, okay, what exactly is it that is making me do this? Am I trying to get away from something? Or am I just so into it that I'm just having a blast? And if so, you can always adjust it. And if you find yourself not, like, people have, there is such a thing as a gaming addiction now. And, like, this is something
Absolutely. Anything can
extremely
be an
new.
addiction. I mean, really. I think we really need to be aware of that, right? Just anything. So this is
I
like
think
anything else.
Absolutely.
Is it healthy for you? Are you,
Hmm.
taking care of yourself? Exactly. Just like anything else. What were
Hmm.
you gonna say, Ray?
I think people should be addicted to loving themselves.
Mm,
Oof. Phew. I would say amen.
good one.
That,
I
yeah,
felt
that
that.
is amazing. Could you imagine?
Oh, really? It's true. You
Think
because
about it.
it wouldn't be ego. It would be if you could love yourself enough to really realize, that you are within everyone, and everyone is within you. And then so if you love yourself that much, you're in essence loving everyone else as well, just as equally.
Think about how many industries would shut down at overnight
Mm.
if people decided to start loving themselves a
Oh
little bit
yeah, how
more.
much we could just open up overnight.
Right. Like, industries would crash, but new ones would be born.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an
Wow.
amazing thing. Human life is an amazing thing, I'm telling you. Nothing, trust me, nothing reminds me of that other than death.
There you go. Yeah. How do you know you lived? When it stops? Was like an old joke somebody told me.
It's like, to quote Harry Potter, death is but the next adventure. So
Ah,
it just, everything is how you see it. That's one thing I'm learning.
that's awesome. That's pretty good, guys. We could maybe wrap it up at that. I thought that was really excellent.
Cool.
Has
Awesome.
it already
Thank you
been
guys so
that
much for
long?
joining me.
Well, I just thought that was really good. You guys had some really good points there.
I'm with it. Thank you guys so much for, thank you, Raina, for joining us and adding, your opinions, and thank you almost like for your insight. Amazing.
Yeah, thanks for
I don't
your
even
unique
know, like,
perspective.
I know you're in high school. That's amazing,
Well,
you're definitely,
yeah.
your mind
Take
is something
extra year.
amazing.
Taking an extra year,
Do
I'm
what you
18
gotta
and
do.
graduated already, but,
18's fun, Ray. Enjoy
Take
it.
your time.
really,
Yeah,
'cause so
seriously.
far it's been wake up at 5:30, don't get home till like 7.
I mean, kind of sounds like being an adult.
Yeah, right? That's 18,
I
but you
don't
know
let
what?
it
It's
take me back.
you got 3 more days, babe. You can do it.
Yeah, and remember, nothing lasts forever. In all honesty, it
Mm,
doesn't.
See,
You
but
get to be 18 once.
Shahad.
that's sad and good at the same time. Like,
Yeah, right? True. So enjoy it all because of that, right?
I mean, I thought of something the other day, and I wrote it down actually. I set it as my Discord thing.
Okay, let's hear
Let
it.
me grab it. It's a little sad.
Okay.
The saddest thing is remembering your own mortality and remembering the mortality of those you love.
Mm,
Because that morning I was like, I got thinking too much and like made myself cry, and I like never cry, so, which is not healthy. If you feel you need to cry, do it.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
feel it.
Don't
Thank
take
you.
don't take my strategies of just like,
We'll see, but that's
you
not
know.
your strategy anymore because you just pointed that out. So very good, Reina.
Yeah, don't keep it in. If you feel like you need help, ask it. There are people around who will help you and be there for you. You don't have to hide. There are people who accept you for who you are with all, and all the things that you think aren't great about yourself, or that, you feel like is broken about yourself. There will be people there, even if it feels like there's not.
Absolutely. Well
Thanks, Reina.
said.
I felt that.
Well
Oh, air
said.
hugs. He's one up.
Well, I'll get to hug you for real in a few hours.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for this. This was awesome.
Always,
All
always.
right.
Thank you,
Have a
Shahadra.
good one.
See you.
Always a pleasure, Sherry. Peace out, Raina.
Love you guys.
See ya.